and welcome to the Asylum. I am your host, Don, and with me today, as frequently, is Jeremiah, who tricked me, you dirty bastard.
I didn't see this movie, but
He
you
did not.
did, so we're talking about it anyway.
It was his idea to watch this sack of crap.
You were
And then-
excited about it. I gave
and
you an
then-
option, and you were happy with it.
You gave me two options, both of which I was happy with. You gave me two options, both of which I was happy with, and I did a random choice on which one. But this one was your idea. My idea was the other. This one was your idea.
And it was not my plan to not see it. I've been on a trip since Sunday. And the plan was one of those evenings I'm going to use my tablet and watch it. But my kids locked me out of my tablet to the point of where I had to wipe it clean. And it wouldn't let me reset it till I was on my home internet. So it's not reset yet. And then when I got back yesterday, it was 10 o'clock at night instead of 7 o'clock at night. And we went to bed.
Yeah, and then you have today.
Well, today I was staring at the sun. And then I was detaching my swamp cooler for the season and going into a spider's nest to check out my dryer lint because apparently the dryer thing in there broke, and I went underneath my porch where there's thousands of spiders. And brown recluse are down there, and I'm like, I'm going to die. I did not die.
Like me and my wasps.
Yes. And we found out that when we got back, we overdrafted the last day of our trip, so I get paid in a week, and we'll see what happens.
Yay! Yay!
Got lots of bills
paycheck.
due this week, though.
Yay! Paychecks.
But I'm poor, so I need to do more videos. So we're going to do this one about Grimm Snow White. And, hey, I know you say it's a piece of crap, but reviewers say this is a slightly better than average piece of crap for Asylum. And it's not by your favorite director. And it has actors that have been in lots of other better things. It's another movie that credits the Brothers Grimm for writing it. I don't think the Brothers Grimm want to have credit for that.
At no point in any Grimm fairy tale does a dinosaur eat a king.
And has a director that has done much better things after.
And an actress that did better things before and after.
And after.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she's been a producer even for, like, Zach Galifianakis, like, Between Two Ferns and stuff. So, we'll talk about this one. So, Grimm's Snow White came out in 2012. And it's funny because you talk about a dinosaur, and it says in the description on IMDb, I think this is a very apt one. When a king is killed by a ferocious reptile-like beast, dinosaur, his queen takes control of the kingdom. She tries to kill her beautiful stepdaughter Snow, but she escapes into the enchanted forest. Pretty accurate? Okay.
That's the whole movie. Any questions? Okay, bye.
So the director is Rachel Lee Goldenberg, who has helped with other movies as like producers, but not like a director of a lot of these ones. I think she has directed Sherlock Holmes, which also has a dinosaur. She directed another Asylum one called Princess and the Pony. She directed Sunday School Musical, which I know you're excited to watch someday.
So excited.
At least it's a musical.
Cannot contain my excitement.
And she has directed episodes of the legit Asylum hit series, Z Nation. It went on for 5 seasons. I think that's as legit as you can get for a TV series.
Sure.
And of course, she's done other things too. But it's written also by someone who has not written the worst of the ones. In fact, I think the person who wrote this one might have written some of the better ones in your eyes. So, her name is Naomi Selfman. She wrote Evil Eyes, which I don't remember. I remember we watched it, but I don't remember that movie.
It
I
was
think it
crap.
had a Baldwin in it.
It had the man they call Jane.
She did write 2012 Doomsday, which I've seen on the shelf for years and years and years, which we'll watch eventually. She wrote 18-Year-Old Virgin, which, heaven help us. Number one Cheerleader Camp, heaven help us. Those are all Asylum movies.
God, hang on, let me look at 18-Year-Old Virgin real quick.
Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus. But she also wrote Mega Python versus Gatoroid.
Which one was the one you said after 18-Year-Old Virgins?
Number one Cheerleader Camp. She also wrote one called Barely Legal, which according to our audience, is going to be like number one on YouTube for a while. Bikini Spring Break. So she also wrote Alone for Christmas or Bone Alone.
Which was a fantastic film.
And you liked Mega Python versus Gatoroid. It was the right type of trashy. Yeah. So this writer has actually written stuff that we've enjoyed in comparison for this series, and some trash which we'll definitely watch eventually. I don't know which one will get us in more trouble, 18-Year-Old Virgin or Barely Legal.
Definitely looking forward to Barely Legal.
But Grimm Snow White, is it any connection to the other Avengers Grimm stuff?
No. It's not the same Snow White. At no point in the movie does anybody call her Snowy, which is like the worst thing.
So they didn't Rumpelstiltskin it?
They did not call her Snowy. It's very upsetting. I think technically in Time Wars, there was that scene where it showed like images from different universes. And I think one of them was this Snow White. But I'm not positive on that, but I think so. And that would be about as close of a connection between the series and Grimm Snow White as you could find.
So it's a recast, if anything.
I think it came out first.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they recast stars like they've done Rumpelstiltskin every movie.
Yeah, poor Rumpelstiltskin.
But this movie stars a very pretentiously named Eliza Bennett, who, yes, is actually an award-winning actress. Yes, she has been in lots of movies that I have legitimately seen. Her first movie was The Prince and Me. She's been in Nanny McPhee. She was the lead in Inkheart. She's been in Broadchurch, which is a great series with David Tennant. She's been in Strikes Back, which is a series that won Emmys. She's in This Is Us. She's been in The Connors, Dynasty. She has worked. And apparently she needed to work in this movie. I'm not sure why, but she's the star. So, how was she in this movie?
Not great. Nobody in this movie did a great job. The acting.
I hear she used a sword. In the trailer, she had a sword. I bet she could sword fight just as good as all the other movies when they have sword fights.
Yeah. The acting was all stilted. Every character seemed like they had literally read the line right before coming on camera, with the exception of the guy who played Prince Charming, who was way over the top, and I think must have been a thief.
Ironically, Prince Charming is played by Jamie Thomas King, who looks like other actors. Like, he looks like when the guy who played Rob Stark, in Game of Thrones and so on.
Yeah.
But his movie just before this movie was Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. How the heck do you go from Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy to Grimm Snow White by the Asylum?
We all make mistakes in the heat of passion, Jimbo.
And he's been in Murdoch Mysteries. He was in Elementary. He was in the originals, which I know is not necessarily like high television, but he was also a main character in The Tudors, which is a very excellent series.
Yeah, nobody in this movie did a good job of acting.
Heck, he was in Tristan and Isolde, which is a much better movie than this.
Yes.
And a mini-series apparently called The Midsommar Murders, which makes me wonder if that's a better one than watching the movie Midsommar. But that's a different thing.
I would say, first of all, Midsummer Murders is an interesting television series. However, you can tell that the writers do not understand differing sexuality in any way, shape, or form. Because
Got it.
the first like 7 episodes of that show is some sort of quote unquote sexual deviant. Like the first episode is a brother and sister incest story. The next episode has to do with a guy who's gay. The next episode is lesbians. It's just like every episode, it's like some LGBTQA something or other who is also a murderer. Like that's like the whole show for the first like season.
Well, at least that actor's a legit actor, and you at least you call him, because everyone else, like Alan Bergen plays Orlando. This is his first role. Could you tell?
Yes, but honestly,
I
thought that it was everybody's first role.
You have Max Solomon, or Salmon, who's the captain. This is his first role, but he also doesn't speak English. Everything else is German.
Oh.
You have Thomas Nash, who plays the hunter. He's also in mostly German stuff.
I don't even remember a hunter, but all right.
You do have an actress who I do know, though, Jane March, who plays the Queen, and she's been in other movies.
Her teeth look like she would be Jaws from James Bond's wife. Like
Well,
her teeth just out.
Like before this, she was in like the modern Clash of the Titans, but she was one of the gods who mostly got cut out of that movie ultimately. I know she was in the show Relic Hunter. Do you remember that show?
My dad does.
It was like Tomb Raider, but not.
Yeah, with Tia Carrere.
And she was Jane in the Casper Van Dien Tarzan and the Lost City, a movie I quite enjoy. Great cinema there. But she's at least a recognizable person.
Yeah, this is like upsetting because the acting in this movie was so subpar, and yet all the actors in this movie are apparently not that level of actor. So
I wonder if they were. So this was clearly made to capitalize on Snow White and the Huntsman and Mirror Mirror.
I would rather watch Snow White and the Huntsman again than watch this movie.
Well, to be fair, Snow White and the Huntsman has Charlize Theron, and every time she's on screen, she's awesome.
That's fair, but it also has Kristen Stewart when she couldn't not breathe with her mouth wide.
But that movie had actual Oscar nominations because there's at least interesting things in it.
Sure.
To be fair, though, with this personal movie, I'll share some screens here because unlike most Asylum movies, it's filmed with a competent camera. Like here is not Rob Stark. Look at that face. Doesn't that look straight up?
Yeah.
Or I guess he's also the prince in Cinderella. That mirror. Like these are all very clear shots, and costumes that look fine, which is a plus for a lot of Asylum. She is not holding that correctly. That is also a terrible looking bow. But like this, as far as like set dressing and production design, this is competent, which is a plus for most Asylum movies. And you can see what's going on, which in this case sounds like it was a negative for you. You probably preferred me in the dark. Is at least the poster accurate?
Those monsters look way better than they did in the movie. Okay. And that's not what the mirror looks like, but there's Snow White.
Nope, there's the prince getting stabbed, I guess. That
is like an elf queen lady. I don't really know. There are no dwarves in this. They decided that they would use elves instead.
That's an elf right there.
That is an elf right there. You can tell by the ears. Yeah.
More elves. These remind me of the elves that they'd have in like the Shannara series.
Yeah. Kind
They
of.
refer to them as knife ears.
Yeah.
Is that a dragon?
That's the dinosaur. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like I need my vision checked.
It's a really blurry photo.
Oh, there it is. This looks like something out of Sound of Thunder.
Yeah, I can see that.
So they're going to step on a butterfly and everyone turns into these people.
God forbid.
What is that? Are they marching?
Yeah, I think so.
That looks like a very silly march. Is it from the Ministry of Silly Walks? Hands, okay.
Hands.
They must have found an interesting, like, this is clearly an old house. They found a decent location, at least to shoot. We already saw that picture. Oh, she looks like she's yawning. Oh, look, another poster.
Oh,
That one looks more accurate.
yeah. I mean, sure.
It sounds like you were overjoyed to watch this movie.
And
That you clearly would want everyone to watch it repeatedly because it is the greatest thing since sliced cheese.
It took me 3 days, and it was definitely 3 days that were completely wasted. I could have been doing home improvement projects, and instead I was watching this crap.